Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here. Today I'm going to be doing a TBR video for the Reading Rush, which is taking place between the 22nd and the 28th of July. I'm really excited about this. This used to be the Booktubeathon and I've never taken part in the Booktubeathon before, so this will be my first experience. You can go onto the website of the Reading Rush to kind of like book your pages in and that, and if you want you can go and add me as a friend on there and I will have my links down below for you. There are 7 challenges and then there is a bonus challenge which is to read 7 books. I have picked 7 books out. I don't know if I'm going to read all 7. I'm going to try my best, but you never know. This readathon was created by Ariel and Raylene, and I will link their channels and anything else that I can think of down below. But yeah, let me get on with what my picks are basically. So as I said, I have picked a book for each of these challenges. I don't know that I'm going to read all of them. I'm going to try my best, but I've kind of just given myself a few options. So the first challenge is to read a book with purple on the cover. So I have decided to read Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I don't actually know anything about this, but I have heard a few people talking about it. But the main reason why I picked this was because Linda from Linda's World of Books, whose channel I'll link down below, read, I can't remember what the name of it. She read a book by her recently and I watched her review, and Linda seemed to really like her writing, so I thought I was going to give her a go because I've heard I used to hear someone talking about it, and I think that Jennifer L. Armentrout did the Lux series as well, or like is it like Obsidian? Oh, I don't know, I'm kind of making it up as I go along now, but I have heard good things about her writing in general, so I would like to read one of her books. Like I said, I don't know anything else about it, but it's a purple cover, so I'm excited to try a new author. The second challenge is to read a book while staying in the same spot the whole time, and for this one I've picked Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. Again, I don't know loads about this book. I think I mentioned this in one of my videos before about wanting to read it, but I got it on my Kindle, and it follows basically, I think, it's about being different and standing out, I think, and wanting to fit in, some people wanting to fit in with the crowd and that kind of thing. So yeah, I want to read this one, and again, it's on my Kindle, and I do like to sort of stay in the same place when I read on my Kindle, so I think this could be quite an easy one to accomplish. But obviously if I read any of the other books sitting in the same place, then that would fit too, but I've just picked that book as like an extra one. The third prompt actually worked quite nicely for me, and it is to read a book that you meant to read last year. I feel like I could have read any of the books on my shelves pretty much, but the one I went with was The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is a book that you all picked for me for my July TBR. This was kind of the winner of the poll in that video, so I really wanted to obviously read this one, and seeing as how I was meant to read it last year and the year before when the TV series came out, and now the second series is out, I really need to read it. So yeah, I want to read this. I think it follows a group of women called the Handmaids, who are the only ones that are allowed to breed, and they essentially are used by like rich men and women to essentially have their children for them. And I don't know anything else about it really, but I've heard really harrowing things. I think it's quite I think it really is quite, like, the sad part is it's quite, you know, relevant in today's society, especially like in America, where I think recently there was a bill passed that was like the anti-abortion one, was it, or something? I just remember there's being some horrendous things happening at the minute, and I know that Charlie Brooke read this recently and really enjoyed it as well, and I know that April from Getting Hooger with It did a read along, so yeah, I just need to catch up and read this because, I mean, how long have I got? It is quite short, but I know that it's meant to be quite difficult, so whether I'll finish this throughout that time, I don't know, but there are still a couple of days after that to read it in July, so I need to read it in July because otherwise you guys are going to be like, well, we picked it for you, why didn't you read it? Next up, prompt number 4 is to read an author's debut novel, and I really loved this prompt. I think it's a really fun one to read, like back catalogues of authors. However, I'm not really doing that. I'm reading an author for the first time, but this is their first book, and I honestly, Charlie, again mentioning Charlie from Charlie Brooke, she raves about this series, so I really want to read this one. This is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I received this book in my chocolate and a book unboxing video, and I think this book is absolutely stunning. I think it's set in like Russia, I think, and it's to do with Russian folklore. I don't really know anything else about it. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this because Charlie told me she didn't know how I'd feel about it because I think there's like magical realism in this, which is probably true because that's probably why she likes it so much. But I'm going to give it a go anyway, because you never know, every now and then you find a book that you don't expect to love loads and then you do. So I think the third book in this trilogy has just come out, so I feel like if I like this, then I can potentially read the other two as well. We will see. Next up is to read a book with a non-human main character, and I know a lot of people struggled with this one, but I already instantly knew what I was going to read, and so I have picked Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. This is a film that I loved as a child, and this one could also work with The Last Prompt as well if I don't get around to reading what I've picked for that one, which is to read a book to movie adaptation. So yeah, if I don't get around to reading the last book, then I obviously can just watch Charlotte's Web, which I'm okay with. Charlotte's Web basically follows a pig named Wilbur and a spider named Charlotte, and they have like an unusual friendship, and it's such a beautiful story, and I definitely want to read the books. I've never actually read the book, so I feel like, yeah, I've got that one on my Kindle as well, so I'm excited for that. The penultimate and sixth challenge for this readathon is to read a book with more than 5 words in the title. Again, I could have had loads, but I wanted to read quite a smaller book and maybe give myself a bit of a chance. So I've picked a graphic novel. This one is Rat Queens Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery. Rat Queens is only 2 words, but I've kind of taken the fact that this Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery, that together is about 7 or 8 words, so yeah. I have only read a couple of graphic novels before, but I read one in June that I loved, which was the Wicked and the Divine, so I'm really excited to get on with the next one. I owned this one anyway, and I thought actually this could be really good, and it probably won't take me very long to read because obviously it's a graphic novel, so yay for readathons. So yeah, hoping to get to this one and very excited. I don't know anything else about it really, apart from I've heard it's Buffy meets Lord of the Rings, which that is a buzzword that I can deal with. And then, as mentioned earlier, my the last prompt basically is to read a book and then watch the movie adaptation. So if I don't read the Charlotte's Web and watch the film of that, I have picked Matilda by Roald Dahl. I have read this before, but it was a long time ago, and I have bought a copy. And so also this has purple on the cover, so possibly that could work too. I love Matilda in general, and so I really want to read this book again because it was so long ago, like I said, that I read it last time. It's not very big either, and it's a children's book. It's Roald Dahl, so I feel like that definitely is not going to take very long. This is the physical TBRs I have, and I have 3 books on my Kindle as well. I have picked a couple of bigger books, but most of them are smaller because I obviously want to give myself a fighting chance in 7 days to read 7 books, but honestly, I don't think it's going to happen, but you know what, we're going to try anyway. I am really excited about this readathon. Do go and check it out. Let me know if you're taking part as well, because I definitely want to egg people on in the same way that I'm hoping that they're going to do the same for me. I also want to do my video shout out for this video, and today I want to I'd like to shout out Pauline from The Dancing Lawn. I love Pauline's channel, and I only recently discovered her because she took part in the small booktuber collab that we did with The Hungry Bookworm, and there was 8 of us all together. If you haven't seen those videos, I will go and link that down below for you, but I love Pauline's channel, and I recently watched her mid-year book freakout tag that she did, and she did really amazing editing on it, and I loved it. I think it's so good, and it was something a bit different than all the others that I'd seen. So yeah, definitely go and check out Pauline's channel if you haven't already, because she's fabulous, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.